How is the new wave of the pandemic proceeding? Well, let's put it in some recent historical context. So, the most recent weekday data we have cases for is July 23rd. So let's flash back. July 23rd, 2020. The 7-day average of cases was a bit shy of 66,000. We had just over 70,000 cases. That was at the time what we thought would be the darkest period. Then the winter came and blew it away, but it was pretty bad. Well, this July 23rd, the 7-day average isn't quite as high, but new cases, 82,505. We have more cases this July 23rd than last July 23rd. When we had no vaccines, we barely had tests. Okay, we had tests at that point, but we didn't really know. It is actually worse. Now on the weekend, those numbers did drop down a bit, but we're just hoping that hooks back down, but it could continue away as we have continued to try to let you know. This is not happening evenly all over the country. 40% of all new cases this last week have been recorded in just Florida, Texas, and Missouri. 3 states, almost half of all the COVID at least being tracked. And I'm sure they're doing a great job in Florida, Texas, and Missouri of testing for COVID. Anyway, so that's the bad news initially. I'm gonna have a little bit of good news, but Francesca, we've been checking in every week and things seem to be proceeding as my gut at least predicted it might. That's our segment. It's
just put us in charge. Oh my God. In my dictatorship, we would have stamped this out so long ago. Let's just look to Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand. That's my happy place. But really, you gotta think about if another country like New Zealand had this amount of access to vaccines, how they would have stamped out the virus by now, right? Because these are also places that take incredibly seriously things like lockdowns, take incredibly seriously things like, not traveling outside of your state. I've been calling for this from the beginning and no one's been listening to me. I'm very shocked.
Well, I'm sick of your half measures, not traveling out of the state. I've been calling for not traveling outside of your house for like 15 years, okay?
Yeah.
And you're only drawing it at the state lines. But anyway, but really fast. So let's say you were in charge. What would you do at this point? Because New Zealand obviously has a different, they have a different culture, they have a different political media environment. Like, would you arm the nation's hipsters with like needle guns that could like hunt down the MAGAs and inoculate them? Like, what would you do?
No, I mean that's a very American answer and solution to all this. So maybe I am not as red, white, and blue as I thought. No, but I do think that like there needs to be, and I think Biden is in some communities rolling out much more door-to-door mobile vaccination centers. Again, man with a van, I've said this multiple times, and I think those efforts are working. But I also think that there need to be incentives, and it's not about a lottery. It is about empowering and giving funds to restaurants and bars and clubs and wherever people are gathering indoors to allow them to check vaccination cards and support them in that effort and support them in the effort to keep their patrons safe. And
do you support, have you heard this idea that we do another round of COVID stimulus and it goes to the vaccinated, like $2,000, but you have to be in the record as being vaccinated? Would that be like the single big, they'd lose it. They would lose it. But would that be the single biggest way to get people vaccinated?
Sure.
Or would it just lead to more MAGA doctors lying?
I mean, that's pretty good. There would be a look. I don't know how, but I feel like Kayleigh McEnany's family would still somehow get like that money, like just collect it all. Like Jared Kushner would somehow get it. Like I still want to know again where the PPP loans have gone.
Yeah.
But yes, that's a good solution. Yeah. Whoever said that, that's my. You can come work in my cabinet.
I don't remember, so I'll take it.
Okay.
And by the way, so
you've got a job.
Thank you. We were talking about some of the states that are doing the worst. Well, at least they're taking it seriously. Oh wait, sorry, no, not seriously. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas recently said he will not impose new mask mandates. Both he and Governor DeSantis of Florida have also signed measures striking down requirements that people provide proof of vaccination. So it's spreading like crazy in a few of these states, and we're gonna see. I mean, here's something that's dark. I think the secret weapon of like Florida and Texas is that they've already failed so much that lots of people have already had COVID, which doesn't stop you from getting it again necessarily. There's a GOP representative who just got it for the second time, but that might be the best thing that they've got because they're not doing a great job. Now, there's been more vaccination than average in some of these states over the past week because people are rightly terrified. But it's still low. It takes weeks to kick in, and the Delta variant is spreading like insane. So we're gonna have to see the next couple of weeks what happens in some of these places.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.